Welcome to the show, everyone. Today, I know that every time I do this, I get pumped right at the end, right when the song goes T, and then I'm like, it's go time. It's show time. Let's get it going. So, welcome to the show. I am Max. This is the RHMax show channel. Both of them. Where if it's not an ideal or product in or affecting the RH ecosystem, I can't care about it. There's too much good stuff going on in the RH ecosystem. I just can't do it. There's just, if it affects it, Ethereum merge, community project, things like that, then we can talk about it. Otherwise, I can't do it. So much consciousness I got to spend in the right place. So no ads, no monetization. I am not for sale, and I do not make money selling you things. So self-sovereignty is kind of a principle I go by. Can't buy it. It comes from within. So that's my monologue. I want to go through that real quick. Just if you're new to the show, I say it every once in a while, but just want to make it clear what I'm about. I'm here to pump RH and his bags and the people who hold his bags and all this stuff. What's up, Bugs? Say hi to the chat real quick before I get into a couple quick things before we bring in the guest. Oh, so excited to say about the guest. So excited. Jaden, how's it going, Jaden? We got HEX Siren. I was kind of talking a little bit in chat beforehand. Kaiza makes the best clips in the business. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Not maybe top 3, top 5, top 10, somewhere through there. Love the way those clips come out after the talk. Thank you for listening and taking the gems out. Really appreciate it. Of course. Torin, another regular, appreciate it. Share the link, everyone. Put it in the appropriate telegrams. Tweet it, tag us. Now you'll find out who the guest is in a second. Tag both of us. And I want to do a quick thing on the Ethereum forks to be vigilant, because I think we may run into, especially since when it gets more and more popular and people see that there's more trading and more opportunities to, get scammed and stuff, there will be more scam sites. I'm pretty confident saying that. So don't connect your wallet to crazy stuff. I'm going to drop the Malicious Smart Contracts link in the chat again, just in case people haven't seen it. Please go through this and benefit from it, because I think spend a lot of time putting the key information in there of how to protect yourself. So just, again, if you're going to trade, it's fine. It's great marketing for HEX. As it becomes more popular and people take it more seriously and things, which may or may not happen, but if it does, there will be more malicious dApps and stuff coming out to try to rob you. So don't get robbed. HEX on 4 chains coming up, by maybe the end of the year. I don't know. What a time to be alive. Great marketing, great practice for PulseChain. Nothing else. So I'll say that. Watch out, clip. I know I try to say some good stuff. I know nobody's going to clip the bad stuff probably, but I try to say some good stuff. What's up, Ryan? Welcome. Thank you. Welcome to your first live stream. Appreciate you joining us. Hope to not disappoint you. We try to put some quality content out. Here's Joe Benny Blanco. Nice to see you, sir. Nice to see you. Well, without further ado, the wild, the wonderful, welcome SJ to the show.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this early. Here I am. I made it.
Yes. I know. Early for you too, because you're on the West Coast right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. In my traveling adventures.
I used to say welcome to the best coast, but I don't know about that these days. I used to say that before the last decade or so. Now I'm like, you know what? Just welcome to the West Coast. I'm not going to put any flair on it. Let you just
nice of
yourself. Yeah. coming from it's, I've traveled all around and UTEP too, like road trips.
Mm-hmm.
I always see you I see you on the move a lot this past year, and you get to see a lot of the country and a lot of the cool stuff, a lot of the fun stuff, a lot of the stuff as well. So well traveled,
yep.
SJ. A well traveled SJ. There you go.
That's me. Yep.
Well, today, as everyone may have guessed or assumed or saw, we probably will be talking a little bit about a lot of the great works that she's helped push out and publish, and the rock star of rock stars, if you will. SJ has been just killing it, getting out the content she's doing every day. These shorts of quotes from Scivive and just really getting the word out there. And I think there's not a lot of people putting the time and energy into this. So again, you've been celebrated, but that party should continue for a very long time, because you are creating value for society, and you should get repaid for creating value for society. That's how the world works. So
Thank you.
We're going to keep appreciating it, and we're going to talk more about it too, because actually I'm going to share out before we get, so I'm still going to take crypto AMA questions. If y'all have some, just put them in the chat and we'll get to them. I want to put the link to Goodreads. I don't think a lot of people have seen the quotes, and this really helps. If everyone could just go there, if you haven't already, and leave a review, an honest review, if you read Scivive and all this stuff. And this really, so the more good reviews, the more, especially if they're like 4 or 5 star, of course, that promotes it on the site too. So people searching for self-development, self-help, if they search for Scivive, they're going to get better ratings and better reviews if they're there to be, to add up in the score. You can leave, just a rating. You can leave, text and nice things to say as well, or negative things. If you have criticism, whatever, leave that too. But just the more people interact with it, the better rating and stuff will be on the site, and the more that'll enable access to other people who are looking for it. Because if you see a book that has 1,000 reviews versus a book that has 14 reviews, you're gonna, it just adds more legitimacy to the product. So the sooner we can do that, the more pump medals we can have for Richard's books. So just want to throw the link out there. If you haven't went to it already, check it out. I've added a bunch of quotes to it myself, and add quotes. That's another thing too. If you have more quotes from Scivive that you like, add those quotes, because it's got over 200 now. But like, what if it had like 500? That'd be pretty cool. A lot of people quote in the book. You can share.
Oh snap! I need to.
Good.
Oh, sorry. My connection is a little wonky, but I have all the quotes that I'm doing. I'm compiling all that. So the document, I think right now I have 180 something quotes just from Scivive. So
nice. Yeah, I mean,
good morning, Patrice. Good morning, CZ.
It's like, it's dual use for you too, because you can use the quotes that are already there for stuff, and then you can also add new quotes to it. So it's like this positive feedback loop. All right, you got going on. I like it. Yes. Welcome, CZ. Again, share the link, everyone. Share the link. We're going to get into some cool stuff. I'm going to share my screen. I want to spend the first half going over Scivive, and then we'll get into Fix the World as well. But let's see if I can share, pull up, and I'll drop the link to the blog as well. But in the meantime, what have you been working on as far as anything new as far as Scivive? I know you've been doing the daily quotes and things like that. I really like that. You've been incorporating other people doing quotes as well, such as myself and other people at PulseCon too. So anything you've been working on lately that you want to share?
Sure. So that has been really great, getting other people to do quotes. I actually just recently reached out to one of the HEX ladies groups. So I wanted to have a lot more women partake in the process. And so over the next few days, you'll start to see a couple more guests doing that, which I'm glad that I had the idea or had the thought to get other people to come in and join me on this process. I've actually had several people now reach out to me asking if they could do a quote. I'm like, yes, please. Like if anyone out there is interested, you want to do a quote and get it, out there. It's awesome because Richard's going to retweet it. And I usually try to, especially if you're also an influencer, I try to include on Instagram, especially because that's where Richard is always, sorry, not retweeting. He'll repost it on Instagram. So if you're an influencer, you're on Instagram, especially, then I will make sure that whatever Richard's going to pay, move forward, also has your info in it too. So it's, it'll pump your channel a little bit, I hope, in doing so. It's, really this whole process has been something that I want to it's important right now, because in this bear market, people are losing their minds. People are, they feel like they've lost all their money. I was just listening to a stream this morning that Coffee and Johnny Chaos did yesterday. And I heard Johnny mention that there have been people that have lost their lives. Sorry to get real serious real quick in the morning, but people have taken their own lives. At least this is what Johnny said. I haven't looked into this or anything, but because of the loss that they feel that they had through, sacrifices or whatever money that they gave, they over leveraged. And because of that, they're no longer with us. And that breaks my heart. So it just is like all the more reason to continue moving forward with doing something positive and reminding people that we're all in this together. Your bank account is not your worth, and there's so much more to this community and to, you know, what we promote and what we're doing than, you know, just money. Like, you know, if you're upset about what's happened with your finances, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, start reading Scivive, because, you know, Richard talks a lot about different ways to improve yourself and to give yourself worth and to be a better person. And just a good reminder that, you know, there's hope.
Yeah, there's hope.
Yeah.
Nice mug. Yeah, it's I think there's, you know, we talk about money a lot, and of course, you know, the reason that I think money is so important is to buy your freedom, to help you not be able to help you be the best version of yourself, and just get a lot of things you don't like to do out of the way, so you can have more positive, you know, have more inner peace, have more things you want to focus on and do and be productive. Like you said, yeah, being over leveraged, that just, you know, maybe you thought something was coming sooner than it was. And it's tragic because it's such a bright future out there. And just, yeah, it's you know, money is something that can help you, but you can't let it be that part that you know, you can't be that crutch. Like, you can't like put all your hopes and dreams into these things. And my heart goes out to the people too who are going through struggling or lost the battle and otherwise. Like, that's I don't know, life's the game of survival, and it can be rough. Like, we don't talk about that. Maybe we don't talk about it enough, like how rough life can be. You know, everyone's got their own situation too. Yeah, I know everyone has ups and downs. You see, even the streamers, you know, you see everyone has these things going on in their personal lives that they have ups and downs and stuff too. So just being able to cultivate the most peace possible has really helped me in bad times. I don't want to say bad times. It's like, I try not to think of things as bad times, hard times. It's kind of just like different places that you can learn from, and different things that you need to challenge yourself with, because I'm very proactive in a lot of things too. So I naturally I look at every failure. I don't use the word failure, I use feedback. Like, no failure is only feedback. I look at everything as an opportunity to grow better in the future. So I'm always looking for better, for worse. I'm always like delaying gratification in a lot of ways. I'm like putting the work in now, so in the future it'll be better in some way, shape, or form. But if you don't think there's a bright future, it's hard to do that. Like, I guess implicit in that statement is you think the future is going to be better than today. So if you don't think that, it's really hard to like get into the stuff, you know, be able to cultivate the peace, be able to, you know, work on yourself and get yourself and keep yourself in a good shape and state of mind to be able to thrive in the future. If you're not able to think it's going to be better than right now or better than the past and things like that. So I feel very fortunate to just have that mindset and be able to hang on to it and do things to create an environment where hopefully it never goes away. I always want the future to be brighter for me and my family and otherwise, and for everyone else who wants it. So anyways, that's your intro right there. Imagine becoming healthier, stronger, and smarter every day. That's what I wanted to ask you too. Like, that's the first words of Scivive Chapter 0, the intro. Why can't everyone do this? Maybe that's a good one. Like, why can't everyone? You know, the tools are right there. You could say, okay, even the market cycles. You know, you bear market's coming, the bull market's coming. You know what happens. You know what's going to do. But most people, 99% of people, they don't make the choices that keep them, you know, financially up or down, or they can't wait, or they want to sell when it's down, they want to buy when it's up, all this stuff. Even if somebody can tell you these words and these words too, for example, you know, imagine being the best version of yourself. Why won't most people do that? Like, why isn't everyone in the best shape ever?
You know, I think a lot of it has to do with the culture that's been instilled in these last, like, I don't know how many years, but just the instant gratification. Right? People don't want to delay gratification, and it's just getting worse. It's just becoming more and more of a like chronic, you know, like stream of influence from the media, from all these new, social media channels, TikTok. It's everyone wants everything in bite sized and they want it now. And it's hard to, it's hard, I think, for people to get out of that when it's been pushed on them for so long. And it's a hard question to answer, because I am similarly minded with you. I have always had a very positive mindset. I feel very fortunate that that's been the case. I know that there are people out there who, maybe there's chemical imbalances. There's things that they are already predisposed, or they have these pre-existing conditions because of their health or the way they grew up or whatever it is. And to be able to become more open-minded and become more positive-minded it's not an easy thing. And that's one of the reasons I love Scivive so much, is because Richard often, over and over, talks about changing your frame of mind from the negative to the positive. And that's such an important principle to put into your life. And I hope that more people will read Scivive and will understand that, and bring themselves around to this power of positivity mindset and that framework, instead of staying stuck in this place where, you just kind of have blinders on and you're only focusing on the negative, and you're only focusing on, what isn't happening for you. You are the master of your reality. You get to make your future. And I think people have been, maybe they feel like their power has been taken away from them for one reason or another. And I definitely personally have gone through a huge growth spurt with that in the last year, feeling now that I've become more personally empowered in, who I am and what it is that I'm doing in the world. And a lot of that is thanks to Richard, and thanks to HEX, and thanks to this community. I feel like I have so much more purpose than I did a year ago. And I'm so grateful that I get to be around people who are like-minded, and who, like yourself and, myself, we're trying to uplift other people, just us having this conversation, who knows what the ripple effect could be. I'm hoping that people out there who are not feeling well, or are not, doing so good right now, get to hear our words and understand that, hey, you're not alone. And, we're all in this together. And this community is so open to discussion, right? We're so open to working things out and talking through things, regardless of what the topic is. And I think that's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. So yeah, long answer to that question, but it's hard. It's a difficult thing for so many people. And, I've seen people be self-deprecating and this and that. And it's hard. I just read something last night in Scivive where Richard said something to the effect of, you can't, it's hard to tell a person that they're doing something wrong, because they don't see it that way.
Yeah. It's hard to, the similar phrase, talk a man out of doing something that his salary depends on too. If they have all the incentives to do something, such as a paycheck, such as whatever, they're going to be doing that. They're going to fight you. They're going to be very defensive. Otherwise, if you try to change their mind, even if it's obviously the better route or the better choice for them. You mentioned framing. I had a conversation recently where somebody said, oh, it looks like you have a busy day. And to me, it's I don't even think that's the right way to look at it. Busy, it just seems that has this negative connotation to it. I try to stay away from busy, because busy, to me, it's just, if I'm planning a day and there's a lot of stuff going on, I'm streaming, I'm going to the park, I'm going to the lake, whatever. And I got a lot of stuff going on. To me, that's not busy. To me, that's just a fun day. It's not work. I think of work. I think, I relate work and busy, and work as in something someone else is telling you to do, not the work you're doing yourself. Because if you're doing the work yourself, if I'm doing all the creative stuff, I can tell other people I'm working, but I'm not really working. I'm creating. I'm playing. That's what you want. And Naval talks about that too. You want what you're doing to look like work, but to you, it's play. So other people will pay you to do it, or other people like what you're doing, or whatever. The ideal situation is that, but then it's play to you, because to you, it's just, you're just having fun. You're just creating. And then, so that's the framing part. And then what I think a lot of people struggle with too is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Another Naval quote. I know we're talking about Scivive, but I'll throw a couple Naval quotes while we're here. You are responsible for everything you think and feel. Like, you have to take responsibility for that and really own it. Like, if you let other people make you feel bad, I know there's a balance to these things, but if it's up to you. Like, you have the power. Like, if you believe yourself to be a sovereign individual who has got their stuff together, is able to do the things they want to do when they want to do them, and just able to control yourself. If you think you have control of your life and your body and your mind and your peace and all these other ways, why would you let anyone else change that for you? Why would you let them affect that in a negative way, in ways you don't want them to? So that's something I've you can almost use it as an affirmation of, like, if you're going through a tough time or whatever, I think I'm responsible for everything I think and feel. So I think that's a thing that you can use to tell yourself, I'm accountable. Like, it goes both ways. You can't be accountable when you want to. You got to be accountable all the time to yourself, and that's what builds confidence, self-esteem, like your self-sovereignty, your real self-sovereignty.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's I'm really glad that those are the first words of the deal. Imagine, because I think that's really what drew me to it too. Once I read that, I was like, yes, I'm looking for that. I found Richard at a time where I needed a mentor in crypto, and it didn't hurt to have a mentor in life as well. And like, Sci-Fi was perfect for that. This man showed up at the right time in that way. So we'll go through a couple, and then I wrote a lot in this blog, as you can see. And this is one of three. So let me go back to the blog here. So I went over Mind, Body, Spirit, plus the intro, and then Money, Power, Respect, Space, Events, Longevity. So I'll just scroll, kind of pick one. We'll talk about it for a sec and then go on. But again, if anyone wants to follow along, I'll drop the yes, Finbear, accountable. Accountable? No, I did not say accountable, or I didn't mean to say accountable. Anybody wants to follow along, you can go to the blog. And then let's see, I'm just going to randomly scroll. And what's this one? Actually, funny enough, I think I've heard you do some of these recently. Like this one. Didn't you do a thing on at any given moment? There's an infinite amount of good and bad things going on. Yeah, I feel like I've heard you go over that one before. Trying to see, so you can see, like, with these are the quotes, and this is my commentary at the time when I was going through them. Yeah, definitely heard you go over that one before. Make sure fit. This might be a good one too. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of you, actually, SJ. Curious people, because you got to be curious to get into this stuff. You really do. Like,
absolutely.
Not like why hasn't everyone in the world read these books? Like, not just because we haven't been able to scale it to those people yet. We don't have them in print yet. Besides that fact, right? It's just if you gave it to them, if you took the print version of the book and you put it in their hands, 99% of people would never look at it. They would give it away later on. They would be nice. They would accept it. I've given people books. I've given people books on HEX before, and I've given it to them, and I know they're not going to read it. Like, I can just tell by their reaction, they're never going to read it. And we never have a conversation afterwards about it. So I guess what is I read the quote, curious people get really smart. By definition, we must learn about the topic in question, and we care about it. So we'll watch a 2-hour video about the boring topic, and to everyone else, because to use, we must fulfill our curiosity. So yeah, doing the boring stuff, like, is curiosity, is that key to being able to just, not even do a fraction of what the research you and I've done for this stuff, but just to read the book, to read a chapter, to listen to the audiobook for 2 or 3 hours? Like, what gets people into this? Do they need to be looking for something, or are they just, like, born with this type of curiosity?
I think it's a combo, for sure, of both of those things. Like, for me, I had already jumped on the HEX bandwagon before I figured out who Richard was or what he was about. And then once I had already invested, and then once I found out about Richard, started looking into him more, I was like, okay, if I'm really serious about this and I want to continue to invest in this, I need to know. I was just so curious, especially because of, and it it blows my mind that people wouldn't be curious. Like, who wouldn't want to know more about this dude, flashing his Rolls Royce and his Gucci outfits? And, don't you kind of want to know like what he's about and like why he's doing these things?
Yeah.
So it's for me, I just have that instilled in myself. Like I'm a constant student of the world. Like I love learning, period. So that curiosity is, something that I've always had. But I would think, you'd think that people would see Richard and be like, what is up with this dude? Like, what is he doing?
Well, you mentioned
So,
too, like before you said, a lot of this, when you got into Richard, it changed, it gave, I think you said it gave meaning to your life in different ways.
mhm.
Do you feel like you were missing some, that sort of thing? And if so, how did this fill that void?
That's a great question. So I think my instant answer to that, the thing that I think I'm thinking of the most is that when I started to get into this community and read Scivive, I was doing a lot of things that like here's a good example is like for me, I was doing acting, right? And I told my agent at the time, I said, I'm not interested in becoming famous. I don't want to do movies or be on a TV show. I just wanted to do background and commercial work, which is what I ended up doing. And it was something that paid the bills, but it wasn't my passion. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't that exciting to me all the time. And when I started on this path reading Scivive and then really reading Richard's words and the part where he speaks about being your own brand and doing your own thing, that sparked something in me that lit a fire. And I was just like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I want to be, a force for good. And I compare that to acting because it's like, I want to be able to use my image and my presence and whatever it is that, my essence contributes to the world for good. And I've always had that. I've always wanted to do more and to, be a proponent of something bigger than myself. So it just, everything just started aligning with HEX and, what Richard's saying and, the fact that I wanted to give a voice to this. So I'm like over the moon now that I get to use my image and my voice and, whatever it is that my personality puts out and puts forth into the world for the good of, honestly, like, at the core of it, DeFi, right? And HEX, because that's going to, if I didn't believe this, I wouldn't be here. I believe it's going to, I think it's going to change the world. I really do. And I believe that that's something that I'm not alone in thinking. Like I think that's why this community is so big and that why we're so, tight knit, because we all kind of have this idea in the back of our heads that HEXco is going to be a thing and we're going to move the agenda of HEX and real true DeFi forward.
Well, how does health, wealth, happiness, how does that go with DeFi? Because at the surface level, you'd think, okay, maybe they're tangentially related. You could see some pros and cons, but for you believe a lot of these works coming from Richard on the side of the wisdom stuff and self-development, there's more of a connection to DeFi. Maybe there. How do you think that, like, with, I guess you could look at it this way too. If Scivive fixed the world, if Richard didn't write it, if he didn't publish any of this stuff, he never told anyone about it, how would that affect the mission with HEX, PulseChain, and everything? How would it affect, and which affects DeFi going forward too? But I guess, what do you think would be different if had these things never made it on the internet?
I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of tough.
Hitting you with some hard questions this morning.
I know you are. Jeez. Well, I want to kind of go back to what you had said about health, wealth, and happiness. I think that, and this might be answering a different question, but I think that when you look at that in the lens of DeFi, I think that what comes to mind for me is that it's self-help, right? It's DeFi and DYOR, right? Those are so such big terms in this community, doing your own research and decentralization, right? You don't have someone else looking out for you to do this. It's your job to do it. And I think that's a huge reason why the health, wealth, and happiness and, DeFi, that the marriage of that is that it's on you. It's your job to ensure your own health, wealth, and happiness. And in DeFi, it's your job.
The accountability too. I like that you do the work, right, Rich? You do the work. I love that, like throwback to accountability as well. You brought up too. Yeah, it's. I think we'd have less hexkins. I think a lot of people hung on.
I think so too.
Yeah, a lot of people are in the community, not just for I'm not in the community just for the wealth. Literally, like a lot of people, you ask them, I'm here for mad gains. Yeah, I'm here for mad gains too. But if Richard never created HEX or PulseChain or anything, I would still be following Richard. Like that's not. This is only a part of it, and maybe that's because I've been following him, for years and years. If maybe that would be the case if I started following him in 2021 because he doesn't talk that much about this stuff anymore. But I think he will eventually. Once all the ducks are in the row. But I think there'll be less hexkins, and I think that it's interesting to think about what if HEX never existed? What if he never launched a coin? What if he was still a Bitcoin maxi too? I'd still be reading Scivive. I think that wow, blowing my mind thinking about this. But I'm not here only for the mad gains. I'm here for mad gains in the mental health, here for mad gains in the monetary aspect, and just being able to find between Richard and Naval, just really helped me figure out what I want my purpose to be, figure out how to even understand what that means. And how to hit all, I want to hit all the verticals. I want to be really good at life. And to be rich helps me do that. That's just, it's a tool. The money is a tool. The money is not what I want. It's what I need to be, a greater man. So why not pursue it? Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got me talking motivational speeches right now. You got me talking. I'll go into, since we by the voice of you and my new microphone. Maybe that. I really like so I think I asked you this before, but just I can't remember what your answer was. What is some of your must read chapters of Scivive? For me, I'll just say I really like power, and I really like power and respect. Honestly, I think I'm a little biased, looking at this wiki or looking. Power and respect are two of my favorite. And funny enough, I think in life, those are the two most interesting topics to me as well. So maybe that's why they go hand in hand. So I'm a little biased in that way. But yeah, for you, what is your if someone's like, I can only got a couple hours, which chapter should I read? What would you tell them?
I'm definitely going to agree with you on power for sure. I'm editing the book right now, and I just finished power and just started respect. So those two happen to be really light, up in my head right now. Honestly, I think I agree. I'm going to reread the rest of them obviously as I go along, but there's just so much really perfectly stated information in those two chapters. There's some things in there that are just, it's kind of fluff, or it's not as important, especially when it comes to there's things that the grooming part, and there's some things where he talks about just clubbing and going out with people and how to how to talk to the girl, but that is, a lot of it is actually really good information. And he, I just reread something because I know people, right? So especially with the podcast that he did recently in Florida, and I watched a few of them. I don't think I watched every one of them, but people were, especially some of the ladies in our group were, upset about him talking to these like red pill kind of guys and a lot of like womanizing type
Mm.
like they feel that not necessarily Richard, but the people he was speaking with are, of that more like, the game and like, just playing, like being players kind of mindset. But I don't have anything in front of me right now, but there was basically a quote where Richard was talking about how empty that can be, how so many people, so many pickup artists are, empty, and it's not a good thing to do because you're not really fulfilling what it, and I'm paraphrasing and putting in my own words as well, but to me it seems like he thinks that it's something that he looked into, maybe did it for a while, who knows, maybe he still kind of does stuff like that, but he knows that that's not really the end game, and that's not really what's going to fulfill you.
I think, recently Andrew Tate, for example, has been like all over, I would say all over social media, but it's kind of the opposite since I guess he got banned or so. But I don't know. I think people, like you talked about too, some of the people that Richard talks to, I think that there's a lot of things they do that are helping men and masculinity that don't necessarily take away. Of course, that you could take a lot of things they say and go apply them, and then they're bad for women and things like that. But if you're a reasonable person, a reasonable man in this case, and you listen to them, I think you can take it more as confidence and more of just like building yourself up rather than taking away from anyone else. So I think there's a lot of positive that can be gained from some of the things that they talk about. Of course, there's a lot of nasty stuff and a lot of stuff that's just not good long term for anyone. A lot of zero-sum games you can play with that, as you kind of alluded to. But I think in general, if you just take them as a healthy masculinity type of thing and advice in that way, I think there's a lot of good they have done for men out there too. And if you're already the kind of guy who's going to do that kind of stuff, you don't need to go listen to them to get motivated to do it. You're just going to do it anyways. But if you're the type of young man, for example, who is kind of lost and looking for something and needs that kind of that boost in confidence and courage and stuff like that, and how to get the most out of life, you may benefit from them. But if you already have a bad foundation, you're going to take the bad stuff from them. If you have a good foundation, you're going to try and get the positive things from them. So it's a way of saying it.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, just there's so many gems, and that's why I love doing the quotes, because I'm just, hey, like get interested in this, like check out, this little nugget. There's so much more in these books than just these little nuggets, and I'm hoping that it entices people to start reading, because it's just, there's some things that I purposefully don't quote or I leave out because they're too good. I'm just like, no, you got to read. You got to get up in here and read this stuff, because it's worth your time.
It's if you're interested in clubbing, you can find that in the book, or if you're not, just skip over it. Like when I read it too, I wasn't even in the right I wasn't even in that mindset anyways. I may have been at one point in my life, but I wasn't at the time that I read it. So that part I didn't take anything from. But just the mental models, even if you're not interested in actually performing the actions that he describes, the mental models that he describes, that those actions that you need to know and understand to do this type of things, are useful in other areas too. You can apply them outside of clubbing or things you may or may not be interested in.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing I see too, is that he uses the same principles and gives the same advice, but in different lenses, right? Like romance or finances. Like it's cool to see that he can take these concepts and apply them to different areas of your life. It is repetitive in a way, but in a great way, because it's using some really great trick or some really great piece of advice, and you can apply that to several different areas of your life. And that's what I see in Respect a lot. That's why I like that chapter so much, because it's like reminds you over and over again in different ways, like, hey, like this is a way to do this, like you can do it better.
Yeah. Multidisciplinary, learning the best ideas from every field, at least knowing the basics, just give you such a leg up in life. Okay, I'll read this one before we move on. Focus on something that someone else actually cares about that you can solve a problem for. And my commentary here was being the best at juggling or making paper airplanes isn't making the world a better place. Focus on spending resources on things that scale, creating more people and creating more people to help you and solving a problem. That's something too that I think is underrated that Richard does that nobody talks about is he's creating, and you can attest to this, he's creating more people like him. Mm-hmm. And if you believe his ideals are a force for good in the world and they're beneficial for you and other people that you meet and will interact with, why not? Like that's some people take that as, oh, you know, like I'm a very individualistic person. So, and very, you know, first principles thinking, all this stuff. So when I say that I'm like following someone's ideals and stuff, like I'm serious about it. Like I'm not, I don't do that with very many people. Like there's very few people that I would study for hours and hours and listen to their content and really soak it in and tell people I like them and tell people about them. And very, very few people in the world with that. So to me, it's not like, you know, you're being a sheep or something if you listen to other people's ideals. Like what there are no, like you gotta, when you're going through life, do you think people just create their own ideals and then follow those ideals? Like you're always following someone else's ideals, whether you think so or not, whether it's direct or not. You're following society's ideals. That's how you become a functioning person. So I don't get that. The criticism I hear sometimes is like, oh, just a sheeple of Richard Hart or something like that. I'm just like, I don't even know what that means. Like why wouldn't you want to follow really good ideals when you find them?
Yeah. That's interesting. It makes me think of when he speaks about, you know, being more aware of what you're putting into your consciousness, right? Don't just be a mirror of, you know, everything that you're taking in. So, you know, to it's like playing devil's advocate here. Like I see both sides of it, but I think that
the limiting aspect is don't just repeat things, don't just like parrot things, but like following other people's ideals. I don't see anything wrong with that, but make sure you understand them and able to debate them, you know, in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, and also, you know, I think it's important to have a filter, right? Like you don't want to just take in, you know, all this information from all these different sources and, you know, and then you kind of confuse yourself. But I think it's important for us to, you know, take in what it is that we feel most akin to, or, you know, what makes the most sense to us, and then grow from that, right? Like take that and don't just mirror it. But there's another quote that, you know, Richard says basically like you learn from, what was it? Is like the amateur imitates what the master improves, right? Yes, so improve on it. Yeah.
The master can you say it again? Just so we get it.
It's I think it's something like the apprentice imitates what the master improves. So it's like the master has taken something and has improved on it, whereas the apprentice is just copying what the master has done.
Yeah. I mean, that's a real mental model in business and stuff too, and just career of, you know, you have senior people, you have, you know, principal people, you have, you know, all this hierarchy in your career too. And the people at the top are supposed to be the ones who you're paid for your judgment. Like the CEO of a company usually isn't doing like the groundwork. They're not like working as hard as, you know, maybe like one of the engineers or something like that. Maybe they're working exactly the same, but the CEO is making a lot more money. Why is that? They're getting paid for their judgment. They're all the experience they have and all the pain and all the scars they have, they're getting paid. That's like compounding, and they're getting paid for it. So anyway, this is something I thought of when we were discussing that, because that's all these things, all these ideas you can apply in different fields, multidisciplinary mastery. So I had a question. Yeah, we'll go on to Fix the World. If anyone wants to see time, space, and events, I'll drop it in the chat. You can read it on your leisure, but I want to make sure we have time for Fix the World as well. But before we get there, there was a question on crypto. Thoughts on HEX and ETHw? Well, at the beginning, I said that HEX on 3 or 4 chains, kind of crazy, huh? I don't know. I would say watch out for scam sites and things that want to connect as it becomes more popular and as it goes on, and it'll probably be around for at least a few months or so. There's gonna be more people that want to steal your wallet. So they're gonna say, oh, I got messaged in the Hedron by a fake Alex from Hedron, and it was super legit. It was like they had messaged me a month ago or something to just get I don't know what you call that. It's like the conversation thing of like building the trust. They messaged me, had a very quick conversation, didn't ask for much. And then a few days ago, they messaged me again, say, hey, because of the ETH merge, you need to amalgamate your wallet to make sure you get your coins. And again, I think I'm talking to like Alex, and I've had Alex on stream. So like it's not like I'm surprised that he messaged me because we talk every once in a while. He was talking a little differently, but I was like, oh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's been out for a while. Maybe he's, this is whatever. But it was super legit. So the point is, I'm gonna go through the whole story, but I just imagine like someone who's like really on top of things and understands crypto, understands scams, understands security so well. If I can be like almost pulled into this thing, there's probably tons of people who are getting their wallets drained, which is terrible. Yep. So watch out for scams through ETHw. And I'm not a trader, so I don't plan on trading this stuff. And I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's great for marketing for HEX, since we're hitting top of the charts and a lot of this stuff. And I think the conversation and being able to tag and get Ethereum people involved who maybe in other tokens involved in our community is a good thing. The only thing I don't like is it's turning. And I joked about this. I had a tweet about conspiracy theory of like the ETH merge trying to turn all Hexkins into day traders instead of stakers. There's a little bit of truth in that. There's a little bit of truth. I don't like that rubbing our community into this. Okay, now learn how to use this new fork so you can try the time the tops and bottoms and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I hope people make money from this, but I don't. I'm not very interested in it. I'm interested in all your HEX is copied there. I don't plan on participating in it very much, but hey, if it brings more community people in, it makes HEX look good. Those are some positives. I'm fine with that. But is it going to be when PulseChain launches? Are people going to care about these two forks as much as they do now? I'll let you think about that one. Got anything, SJ?
Not on that. No, that that same stream I mentioned earlier about the coffee and Johnny Chaos. That's a good one. If you're really interested in learning a lot more about that, I think his opinion's pretty solid on the different ways you can look at it. But yeah, I personally am not going to touch any of it. I'm going to just kind of sit back and wait and see what happens. And best case scenario, it continues to go up, and then you got some free money, just cash out. But I don't see it being, especially once PulseChain is going to launch, there's so many forks have just come and gone, and it'll just probably do the same thing.
Well, it's not like ETC and not like BCH. Those were forked on principles, immutability and Bitcoin is cash. Those were, this is just, there's opportunity to make money. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with opportunity to make money. There's a lot of things in that in crypto, but these forks, I don't know. It just feels dirty. I don't like playing it. It just feels dirty to me. So again, I'm not telling anyone else they shouldn't play in it, but it's not the pure playground of PulseChain that I'm looking forward to. And the comment to Vagabond, I hope people are not selling their HEX for Ethereum. If you want to trigger people in the community, if that happens, that would not be fun.
No.
Not, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. People start trading. They start being irrational as well. They start seeing, hey, I can get, all this HEX. I hope you make money. I hope everyone who trades makes money in it. I don't think that's reality though. So, but again, great for marketing. I don't want to say I don't like the new chain stuff. Great for marketing. HEX is killing it on it. Great for bringing community people in from other communities. There's a lot of positives to it. There are a lot of positives to it, and they're indirect positives. I think the positive is being overplayed a little bit if I were to be critical of it, but there are positives to this. So I'll say that. Yes.
I do have a quick thing on Fix the World to bring up before you get into your blog here. So words. So I finished editing it, and it's being, so right now, Hexagon Girl, who's in the UK, who is awesome, she's a publisher. So she's working on getting it published. And I would like to put a call out for a cover artist. I've had a couple different people say that they're interested in doing it. But that's definitely something that we are in need of. So if you are an artist and you feel like you could do a really cool book cover for Fix the World, definitely reach out to myself or Hexagon Girl and let us know that that's something that you are interested in doing, and we'll get you the dimensions and everything. And then, this is kind of random, and I'm not 100% sure which way we're going to go with this, but we also need, I can't think of off the top of my head right now which one's which, but a preface and a forward. And I know one is supposed to be written by the author, and I don't think that's going to happen. Richard's just got too much other stuff going on right now. But, maybe even yourself. I'm looking for someone to possibly write a preface for Fix the World and Scivive, or, one or the other.
Wow.
I'm also thinking about maybe making the preface like a bunch of testimonials just about how these books have already changed people's lives. So if you have any interest in that, if you're interested in, helping with editing or anything like that, just let me know. Cause that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in the middle of I think almost literally in the middle of the book of Scivive, getting it edited so that it can be published, because Richard now has spoken about it on stream a couple times, and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, I'll work on that.
Yeah.
So, and I just real quick, I just saw this pop up. Vagabond says, how about an audiobook? If you check out my channel, I did read both of them on audio. So Fix the World is available on Spotify as well. As well as on my YouTube channel. And then Max, you have the Scivive audio so that it's downloadable as an MP3 if YouTube doesn't work for you. So yeah, Vagabonds, check it out. The audiobooks have been done, and I will be redoing the audiobook for Scivive once the edited version is complete. So yeah.
That is great.
Lots of good stuff. I'm super excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Publishing, Hexagon Girl. And the preface,
love her.
Yeah, Google how to write a preface now. I may.
Yeah, definitely. Because I just think about people who are very, Scivivalists and like very much into it. Like I feel like that would be a good place to look for, because I can, as much as I try to poke Richard and ask him questions every now and then, like it's generally silence, and he's got so much other stuff on his plate right now. To me, it's even a miracle that he's reposting the Instagram quotes, like I like that he's doing that, because it shows that he does still care very much about his baby, his book baby. And I think that once the published version is available, I think that that's going to just, I hope, and this is why I'm working on this so hard, is because I really want this to be something that the whole world can see. Maybe the movie comes out and then the book comes out, and people are like, oh, who is Richard? What has he done? Oh, he's written a self-help book. Oh, hey, I can buy the book, so definitely fire has been lit to do that.
I think there'll definitely be a plug for the book in the documentary.
I didn't even think about that.
For the books, I'm sure there will. Yeah. Like I'm sure he's going to review, okay, what, because he everything he does is intentional, right? Like 99% of stuff. So, he's going to be like, all right, what ideals do I want to get out there? What I want to promote, things like that. So whether PulseChain launch happens before or after all this stuff, I think there'll definitely be plugs for it. And wow, that I'm excited for the future. The definition.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're in this community and you read these books, you're like, future's pretty cool stuff. Few minutes left, and again, if y'all have any questions, throw them in the chat. This is why we do this. I feel good already about this stream, because we've got someone who didn't know about Richard's books, and now the audiobook, and now there you go. Vagabonds, thank you for joining us and getting on board with the books. They're good stuff. So I did Fix the World the other day because I was waiting. Was I waiting? Why did I wait to do this one? I think I thought that it was going to be edited and come out sooner, so I was waiting on SJ to do that part, or maybe I was waiting for an audiobook, one of those. But regardless, I waited and to do Fix the World for a little bit after I did all the Scivive commentaries. So which is great because it kickstarted me back into talking about this stuff and all that stuff too. And I'm trying to get Fix the World on Goodreads. I submitted a ticket. They haven't responded to it yet. But
Nice.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I wish they would, I don't know, a better way to be like, hey, can you just literally, I should be able to do this. I should be able to add a book. Why can't I add a book on the website? And just get somebody to review it. But anyways, I like this one a lot from it too. You can predict the outcome by looking at the rules of the game. If you reward bad behavior, you'll get more of it. If you punish good behavior, you'll get less of it. So that one's kind of like, you know, it's written in a very interesting way, where it basically he's saying, when you're playing whatever game you're playing, and everything in life is a game, like, you know, you can say game theory is everywhere. Everything in life is these different games. Look at the different players in the games and the rules of the games and what happens, you know, what is rewarded, what is punished, things like that. And you can understand, you know, how to play the game better or whether you want to play the game or not. You know, there's a lot of, that's why I said in here too, reminds me of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's like, I don't know, for me, I think a lot of people too, not just myself, but in the corporate world, it's like, do you want to play this game? Do you want to play the corporate game? Do you just want to work for someone else the rest of your life and just your whole goal? Oh, I can't wait to get promoted. Oh God. Oh, I can't wait to get my bonus. Like, it's just like dragging you on your entire life. Like, why would you want to be someone else's, like, you're just selling your time to someone else. Like, that's what a job is, right? The definition of a job is someone is paying you for your time. It can be 100 different ways of that thing, but like, essentially you're giving your time up for money. So I think that's why financial freedom is so important here too. It allows you don't have to sell your time anymore. You own your own time. You don't need any more money from it because you got it through investing and all this stuff too. And now you don't need to go work for someone else. You can work for yourself, or you can work for someone else if you like. You can do partnerships. You can have business partners. You can start your own thing, or if you're not that ambitious, you can just go have a job. But maybe at least in that way, you can pick a job that doesn't take your life force away. You don't need to sell your soul to a company to get that big paycheck because you don't need it anymore. You can just you can go work for a nonprofit, you know, go work for some job that is more meaningful to you. Whatever it is, whatever your life outlook is, you can do that. You have the choice. You bought your freedom. That's what's so important. Just going through comments for a sec. Word Doc's house. Word Doc is how I started Scivive Audiobooks. Nice. I remember downloading it way before it was edited. I think Richard just this was like whatever it was, voice to text or whatever it was at first. I remember reading on the airplane. I was like, God, this is hard to read.
That's funny. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I was on an airplane.
There's so many printed copies of Scivive probably I've left. I think after I got finished reading it too, I would just leave it in the little thing for other people. Maybe they probably threw them all away, but I always like to think that they take those and somebody takes them home and reads them there. And I onboarded Scivive people from that. But it was very hard to read. But I remember getting through. I was like, no, you need to read this. Like, this is really good stuff. You need to read it. You're going to be better if you read this. I kept convincing myself, so I would get through the unedited versions. And then the edited versions. Now everyone's so lucky to have those edited versions. And then SJ narrated them, which makes the whole world so much more lucky. Like, everyone's lucky now. You can just listen to it. It's great.
Yeah, just wait till this next edition. It's smooth because like the second chapter is still unedited. Spirit, there's a good like 20 pages at the end of Spirit that's like that's the hardest. So I'm working on Respect, but I keep having to go back to Spirit because I just skipped it because there's a whole, like I said, like 10 to like 20 something pages that not all of it goes in Spirit. Some of it needs to go into other chapters. Some of it needs to like be like consolidated and condensed. Some of it's a repeat from what's already been said. So this next edition of it is going to be pristine and ready for publishing. I'm so excited about it.
Wow, I'm excited too. Nothing would make me prouder than to have Scivive and Fix the World on my bookshelf. Like,
right?
so, and then I could give it to people, and I know they're not going to read it, but I would still give it to them. Like, no, did you ever read that Scivive book? But that would just be so cool. And if, wow, and to get Richard to sign it one day, next meetup.
Ooh, I love that. I never even thought of that. I love that idea.
I try to get away from collectibles and things like that, but oh my God, if I get a Richard signed book, I'm hanging on to that baby. Hanging on to it.
I love that.
No such thing as financial freedom because everything is, well, technically true. But so I guess the meme is financial freedom, if I can explain it that way. Just like the meme is 10,000x with PulseChain. We may get there, we may not, but that's our aspirations. So with financial freedom and anything, I'm a libertarian, pragmatic libertarian. I understand the concepts, around freedom a lot. I think about them a lot. So you're never going to be 100% free, but the aspirations of doing that will get you very, very close. It could get you 95%, for example. And isn't that better than 75% or 55% or 25%? That's the way I look at it. Not needing to work anymore sounds like freedom. Yeah. And again, it depends on what kind of ambitions you have. So for me, retirement just means, as Naval puts it, you're not sacrificing today for an imaginary tomorrow. So retirement for me is just owning your own time. It's not about not working. It's about you working on what you want to work on, you having the choice, the freedom. So some people, if you're ambitious, maybe that's your route. If you're not ambitious, that's cool too. If you just want to hang out on the beach, that's cool. It's about doing whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be productive for society. It'd be nice if it was. We need a lot of people like that. It's kind of like the work trap too. If everyone was financially free, GDP would fall off a cliff. The country would suck. Like it's just like one of those necessary evils. It sucks. We don't have to worry about it happening anytime soon, hopefully, because not everyone's going to get woke in a country like this, I don't think. But so it's kind of those conflicting feelings too, where you want to give much people, you want them to wake up, but then it's not going to happen to most of them. But it's kind of good that it doesn't. So I don't know how to it's like conflicting things there too. But anyways, that's reality. That's the reality check, I guess. Yeah. So you can be on the beach. You can go start your own business. Whatever freedom means to you, go do it. That's what we're here to do. More precious than what's NFT.
Yes.
I have a record of giving away what's NFTs on stream. So maybe I'll give one away. Yeah, actually, SJ, let's do that before we go. Could you message me in the private chat a Richard Hart trivia question? Anything you think that just off the top of your head, any Richard Hart trivia question, I'll post it in the chat, or you can read it. I'll let you read it. And then the first right answer, I'll send them a what's NFT. What? Shut up, Sloth. It's the ETH chain, the real chain. No, it will be the ETH chain. I will make it clear, since there's 3 chains now, the what's NFT will be on the Ethereum chain. I'm not touching the other ones right now. It's not happening. I'm just I don't think they're not worth anything right now anyways. So if you come back 6 months from now and they're worth a lot of money and you want the what's NFT on the other chains, I have no problem sending it to you. Just let me know. Maybe a 6 months time window. They're all real chains. God, thank you. Well, we know who's disqualified from trivia now. It's Sloth. Just kidding. But yeah, whenever you think of one, whenever you're ready, we'll just do just let me know when you got one and you're about to do it, and then I'll give people a few seconds. I'll tell them the rules, and then we'll get into it. Link to Money Power Respect, the one I found looks like a graphic video. I'm
wondering if he's meaning the Scivive audio.
Scivive audiobook, right? Money Power.
Talking about Bougie Raccoon?
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So there's 2 different things. The blog, I'm covering 3 chapters, Money Power Respect. On the audiobook, she covers each chapter one by one. So I think that's what you're confused about. If you're not, let me know. But I will send you the link to Money. Did I win? We haven't started yet. It's the link to Money. something Bitcoin top. Okay, SJ, whenever
I'm sending them to you right now.
Okay, you got one. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I need to wait on you to see it in the chat anyways. All right, the rules are, everyone, while we're prepping here, that trivia question. This is surprise trivia. There you go. Surprise trivia today.
There's two for you. You can pick which one you want to use.
Okay, great. Ooh, that's I think I like the second one actually, because I think the first one is, I think it's a good one, but it's I like the second
kind of
one.
Broad.
You really got to hear him tell that story 50 times to remember that. So the rules are, I'm going to read the question. The first one in the chat, like as soon as I read the question, type as fast as you can the answer as soon as you think of it. And the first right answer that I see in my chat, not anyone else's chat. We had to do this the other day. You know, sometimes the internet tubes are different on my end, your end, whatever. My chat wins. We have to pick a winner. My chat wins. And so the first correct answer coming through the chat that I see, tag me on Twitter, DM me, whatever, and then DM me your ETH address, your Ethereum proof of stake address, the Ethereum chain right now. DM me that address, and I will send you a What's NFT. So free NFT. There you go. Sorry if you live in a shitty internet place. I can't do it. I can't do any better. Yes. That is the right answer, SJ. Okay. So the question is, no, it's there's a couple different ways to say it, but that is one of the right answers. The question is, what product did Richard first sell as a teenager? You know, his first business, all that stuff. What is the product that he sold? It takes about 5 to 6 seconds for me to see any answers too.
Oh, I think I see a winner already.
Sorry, Sloth, you were disqualified, remember?
That's right.
Just kidding. Sloth won. Car stereo systems. There you go. Car stereo systems. Vega bonds. That was close. You almost got it. Sloth is the winners. Stereo equipment. Yeah, well, yeah, it was. Ooh, I like it. Sweaty. That's a good point. That was the business he worked on with his dad. He was fixing HVACs in attics and all that stuff. Sorry, Sloth was the first one. Well, we got a few. We got Rugged. Run it back. No, we will give it to you, Sloth. We'll give it to you. So close. Yes, you were. Fantastic. We'll go through one more quote here. So yeah, Sloth messaged me on Twitter. You filthy animal, and I will give you your What's NFT on one chain only. I'm a single chain guy right now. And I'll be two chains.
I love when Richard likes my tweets. Sorry.
Oh, did he? Nice.
So he liked the tweet that I tweeted about this stream, and then just now, because I'm a crazy internet person, I just saw that he liked. I tweeted out about the 5555, the significance of it as an angel number, and he liked it.
Oh, nice. I love how he gives the tip of the hat too, and kind of it motivates you, right? You're like, he still cares about this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He has all this
it's really
stuff
cool to see that.
Yeah. I was seeing a couple of likes. I think he liked something of me the other day too. And if he shows up in the chat, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like
I know. I don't think he ever. I think he watches. He might even be watching right now. Hello, Richard.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he can't say so.
Yeah, probably not. So
hi,
Richard,
we love you.
If you're watching. Yes, we do. We love Uncle Richard. If you're advertising, I'll read one more and then we'll wrap it up because I got some stuff to do today.
I hope he sees these cups. You drink this you use this cup every stream now, right? Because this is so great.
I try. I actually, I try to. I use it either this one or I have a Tears of Hex Haters one. I like to do too.
I've got one of those. Yeah. Nice.
They're good ones. All right, one more quote and we will get out of here. This one's pretty good. I just want to pick a really good city. I mean, a lot of this stuff, people talk about longevity too, and that's a really interesting topic, obviously, that we're both interested in too. Yeah, maybe I'll just go through that. Progress comes from humans. Throw enough shit at the wall, more of it sticks. We need more humans, preferably the useful kind.
Mm-hmm.
That's something people always bring up, overcrowding, all these things. I mean, if you go, somebody needs to clip. I don't know if maybe there are clips. Thank you if you've already clipped this, whoever out there. But really, if you have clips of Richard going through all the imaginary horribles of why longevity is bad. I was talking about it the other day. Somebody asked me the question, or it was on stream maybe. I was going through a bunch of them just off the top of my head. There's so many easy answers to a lot of this stuff. But yeah, it's not overcrowding. It's not going to be a problem. Like technology will solve all of these problems. So if you think overcrowding will be a problem, it's kind of like you think we're going to be on oil and gas for the next 100 years. Like you think we're just never going to like invent our ways out of it. Like we already have solar stuff going on. It's super immature right now. It doesn't work half the time, but you think it's just always going to be that way. Like it's like technology solves problems. And like, if you don't think technology is going to slow down, why would we not be able to solve these problems that come from, people living longer?
Yeah. And in reality, there's an underpopulation problem. There are countries that the ratio of people dying to people being born is so low that's a huge issue.
That's a great point. There's, Japan, Germany, all these aging societies, Russia. Yeah. China with the one child policy that stifled a lot of their growth in population over the last, 50 years or so. Helping people live longer, happier, healthy, more productive lives is a better problem to work on. I stand by that statement. So anyways, I went through Fix the World. I picked out a bunch of quotes. I left my thoughts on them. If you're interested in the quotes and you're interested in what I think about the quotes, feel free to read them. I'll drop the link in one more time. And I do talk about longevity a little bit in this too. I really, I love getting back into it. I kind of go from, I went from, especially when I started streaming, I was, we talked with other people a lot about philosophy, a lot about Sci Vibe and different mental models, different stuff like that. And then I kind of went into just blazing crypto for the last 3 or 4 months, which was fantastic. I don't regret that at all. But also it's so refreshing to come back to it and like start having the conversation. You should talk to this guy too if you haven't. Scott Foster Harris.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
I had a really good conversation with him the other day. If you haven't talked to him yet, I recommend it. He can really talk about a lot of these things too. Have some deep conversations. Very, very nice guy, very smart guy. Anyways, refreshing to talk about this stuff again. And I'm glad we had more than 2 people that wanted to join us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We oscillated up and down, but it's always nice to not be talking to yourself or talking to the other person. I like to have these conversations, at least have a few people watching so they can comment. We can talk about questions and stuff too that they have. And then afterwards, people, hopefully they'll binge it too. But yes, Sloth one.
I just wanted to say one quick thing.
Sure.
As you talked about me, maybe speaking with Scott Foster Harris, and I'm definitely going to do that. I did mention on Twitter a little while ago that I'm taking a break. And a lot of that was because I was traveling and doing things. But now I actually am still going to continue not streaming on my own channel at this point because I'm so inundated with getting Sci Vibe done. So I probably will not be doing my own streams until that work is completed, because that's my main focus right now. And even doing the little Sci Vibe quotes, that takes time. So I just wanted to real quickly thank you for having me on. I'd be happy to be a guest if anybody, is still interested in talking about this kind of stuff. But I also just want to thank everyone who supported me over especially the last 6 months, and, subscribes to my channel, and, my Patreon supporters, things like that. Like I love y'all, and I'm so grateful, and just want to let you know there will be a lot more content coming from me in the future. But for now, I'm just really focused on laser focused on getting Sci Vibe done for Richard and for our community, so that it's publishable and you can have it on your bookshelf.
If you pull this off, No need to ask for forgiveness. You're spending your time in the right area. I'm hearing Richard. I'm hearing Sci-Vibe quotes in my head right now. Like, you're spending your time in the right area.
I love it.
Well, excellent talking to you. Excellent seeing you in Vegas. Had a great time there. Yeah, it's been a long time since we streamed. Whenever you finish things again, or whenever things slow down, come back on. We'll talk about. Oh yeah, you got to do the book promotion, right? You and
for sure.
You got to do the book promotion. So yeah, maybe we can do a stream on that sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to have her on too. Yeah, to talk about all of it and the work that she's doing on it as well. It's awesome. She stepped up to do that.
Yes, yeah. I was talking to her on DMs and just said thank you for doing that. Let me know if you need anything. And yeah, the mission continues. I love it. I love what you two are doing with this. It's so good, so good. Everyone follow AWildSJ at AWildSJ on Twitter, on YouTube. Easily to find her. Just type in Scivive audiobook, Fix the World audiobook. You'll find her. Follow me at RHMaximalist, just the way it sounds, at RHMaximalist. Don't follow the one that has an I, a capital I instead of an L on the Maximalist. Somehow the person has more followers and a super old account too. Kind of embarrassing, actually. There's a lot of people following that other person because they have a more popular account. Funny enough, that's usually not the case. But yeah, so
go report that account if you see it.
Yes, please, everyone, report it. Report it more. Yeah, that's weird. So I got outpopulated by a spam account so far. So, anyways, have expectations of your work. No expectations of the work of profit from others. Yes, all that.
That's
I can hear Richard quoting the Howey test and all that stuff in my head too, like half the time when I see these quotes. Big ups. Yeah, thanks everyone again. We are done for this weekend. I think Monday I have somebody. Next week I have Monday and Wednesday streams at least. And I think I have security AMA on Wednesday. Maybe do 2 streams in one day. I'm not sure. I've never did that before. So it may happen next week. And then I'm going to slow down. I keep saying I'm going to slow down, but seriously, I'm going to slow down. I keep saying that, but it hasn't happened as much. Anyways, great to see you, SJ. And let's talk again. Let's enjoy your travels. Enjoy the weather while it still lasts, and everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend. We are out. Yeah.